Maggie, she knows the kings are friends. Maggie declines to dance. She won't work in a factory, though parents think she should. She's inclined academically, and so far it's so. Maggie won't be a teenage bride. Maggie against the tide, she accepts the adversity. She always knew she could to attend university, and so far it's so. Maggie, so far, so far, so good. Maggie, so far, so far, so good. Maggie.
1600 Arrow Street, crosswise with Main Street, is now entering platform 14.
Maggie? No, I'm probably going to Edinburgh for the weekend.
Edinburgh? First I heard it.
There's someone else, isn't there? That guy from Edinburgh.
James? It's got nothing to do with him.
You like him, though, don't you?
Aye, a lot. We've a good time together. We've a lot to talk about.
Maggie! Sweetie, you missed the train.
Oh, I couldn't find one of my bags. It's wedged under the seat behind.
What are you getting out?
Aye, I might as well. I've got this far. Oh, God! Oh, no. This is what's known as arriving in true McKinley fashion.
What was this?
Oh, honey. It's a present for your mother. I know how much she likes wholesome things.
Not wholesome any longer, I'm afraid. It's full of glass tubes.
Oh, my mother said I should have wrapped up properly. She said I should have had the stuff in a suitcase. Mum was mortally offended. She said, those posh Edinburgh folk think we can't even afford a proper suitcase.
How is your mum, anyway?
Oh, well, got a couple hours to spare.
This is it?
Harriet Road. My mum was here. She said it looks awfully posh.
Probably Louis Stevenson lived here when he was a boy. Right here.
Oh, I should have listened to my mother. It saved us all a lot of trouble. It's really grand. Have you got the whole lot?
We shared it with my grandfather.
Oh, I didn't know he lived with you.
You don't have to whisper, you know. You're not in church.
I've got that same sort of feeling.
Away you go.
You sounded just like my granny when you said that.
Everyone's downstairs in the kitchen. They're dying to see you again.
No taste, obviously.
But before we go down, welcome to Edinburgh.
Where did you put it, Peter?
Well, if I knew where to put it, I wouldn't be looking for it, would I?
You had it in your hand a minute ago.
Yes, I know.
It's under the pie dish.
Well, well.
James, is Maggie with you?
In the flesh at last.
Maggie.
Lovely to see you, dear. We thought you were never going to come.
I know, I kept meaning to, but... Hello, Mr. Fraser.
Hello, Maggie.
How are the great works going?
I never seem to be able to find the right bit in the wall.
I know how you feel.
Must be possible, Peter. Listen, while you're at it, could you put this hook up for me? Make yourself at home, Maggie. It's that jelly can.
How are you, Maggie?
Oh, fine.
Listen, we'll have a good long talk later. You're sleeping in my room.
So be prepared to hear the dog chorus.
Make some tea, Katrina. I'm sure Maggie must be dying.
You'd like it where? But here?
A little to the left. Yes, that seems fine.
Don't ask.
Clear a space at the table then, James. Don't stand there idly.
Where am I supposed to start?
What's this all for?
It's a project I'm doing on pond life with my infants.
At least she's finished collecting the insides of toilet rolls.
We made some wonderful things with those. Here, you can take that.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Is there anything I can do?
Oh, you could butter these scones if you like, Maggie.
Oh, damn it. Where did I put that stupid screwdriver this time?
This is the dining room.
Wild stuff, eh? But the first time I'll have eaten with lion's paws underneath me.
Grandfather refuses to have dinner in the kitchen. He says he'll put up with it for breakfast, but he refuses to have his main meal with the smell of rotting seaweed in his nostrils.
Does he like things all nice and proper then?
In a way. But don't go thinking he's an old stuffed shirt.
He's not.
Not when you get to know him.
I don't know if I like the sound of that. When you get to know him. He's a lawyer, did you say?
Yeah, but he's...
Come and give me a hand, Jane. I'd light the candle.
Typical.
Can I help?
You can light the candles. There you go.
Candles, Ma. Pity you're not here to see.
Hello. You must be Maggie.
Yes.
I'm James's grandfather.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Fraser.
And I you, Maggie. I've heard a great deal about you.
Oh, have you?
Oh, yes. I believe you're going to be a social anthropologist.
Oh, well, I hope so.
What an exciting profession. I've often wished I had done something that would have let me travel more. When you're a lawyer, you tend to get stuck in the one place.
I suppose you do.
And do you know, when I was a young man, I was dying to go off up the Amazon in search of Colonel Fawcett.
Were you really?
Oh, yes. And if my father had encouraged me, I'd have been off like a shot. Now, why don't you sit here by me?
Thank you, Mr. Fraser.
In my day, of course, sons had to listen to the fathers. But when it came to Peter, James's father, well, he decided to go his own way.
Didn't you want him to be a teacher?
Certainly not. I wanted him to follow in my footsteps.
I'm so pleased you're going to be staying on at school, Maggie. It would have been a scandal if a girl like you hadn't.
Oh, it's just that Mum... Well, she left school at 14 herself, and she doesn't see why I shouldn't be out earning. I mean, I'm 17 after all. We could be doing with the money at home.
But that's a very short-term view. She'll be pleased later on.
Yes. One never regrets a good education.
That's so true.
I get the message, but I'm not staying on.
We won't discuss it now. It'll only spoil the meal. And very lovely it was too, Elizabeth.
Oh, it was, Mrs. Fraser. Absolutely delicious. Thanks very much.
The one thing about Maggie is she's very fond of her food, aren't you?
I should hope so. But, Katrina, a year passes so quickly.
Mother.
It's you I'm thinking of. In 5 years' time, you'd regret it.
I'm going to make the coffee.
She wants to be a hairdresser, Maggie.
A hairdresser?
I knew you'd be surprised.
Oh, it's just I seem to be surrounded by hairdressers at present. My best friend Isabel's training to be one.
You know, you should really leave Katrina alone, Elizabeth. You just make her dig her heels in further.
Sounds like your family has a few problems too, Maggie.
I've been keeping them posted.
We'll need to do something soon. My mum will have a nervous breakdown.
Your father must be worried.
I don't know if he realises it or not. He won't admit it.
Typical male.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Well, it's true, isn't it?
Well, if you say so, dear.
Your father's a plumber, isn't he? And your uncle, too.
Oh, my brother's apprentice is one as well.
Haven't they considered starting up in business for themselves? It wouldn't take much capital.
Plumbers are always in great demand. We can never get one when we want one, can we, Peter? Do you remember last winter when the downstairs lavatory froze out?
Very well.
I don't see how they could fail.
Oh, anyone can fail in business, Elizabeth.
And I can't see my father as a businessman.
But you know, Maggie, if they could get a shop, there might be living premises overhead. And that might be the answer to all your problems.
You know what bothers me? Do you think we want to do the opposite of what our parents want? I mean, just for the hell of it.
That's not why I want to go into hairdressing.
Oh, we all know why you want to do that.
Oh, do we indeed?
There was a young man called Alexander, to whom all the girls like to pander.
Oh, I'm sorry, Maggie. I didn't mean...
Sorry, I'm just a natural target.
I'll tell you about Alexander later.
What do you think? Do we want to do the opposite of what our parents are? It's a kind of depressing thought.
It's not that simple, Maggie.
But you're not going against the grain, are you, James? You're going into a very respectable profession. I mean to say, in all the very best Edinburgh families, the son's going for medicine, the law, the church.
I want to be a doctor, and it's got nothing to do with being respectable.
You can finish the dishes yourself.
Sisters.
It's just like home. You wouldn't catch your Sandy up to his elbows in dishwater.
Katrina and I have always had to share the chores. Yeah.
So, Katrina's got a boyfriend called Alexander. And he's a hairdresser.
And a pain in the neck. All he ever wants to talk about is what's going on in the London salons. He wants to set up his own business. Sometimes I wonder if... Oh, God.
You don't think he's after Katrina's money? She hasn't got any, has she?
No, but Grandfather has. Still, let's forget Alexander. We thought he had a minute on our own since he arrived. I'm really glad you came, Maggie.
Me too. I didn't know whether I wanted to or not, but when I saw you at the station...
You know, you really shouldn't put dish towels in your hair. It's not very hygienic. We don't want dandruff in our dishes, do we now?
Mind to the flavour.
James. Maggie, are you interested in pond life?
I'm taking Maggie for a walk right this minute.
It's turning quite misty out, James.
A little bit of mist never hurt anyone.
Well, but tomorrow you really should take Maggie on a tour down the Royal Mile. You must go to the Camera Obscura, and then there's John Knox's house, and the Craft Centre at Huntley House. There's some marvellous things there.
He's super, Maggie. He really is. You must meet him.
I'm dying to.
You're not tired, are you?
No. My legs are aching, though. That brother of yours dragged me all over the place. Edinburgh's nothing but hills.
He's a fantastic hairdresser. He could be a top stylist in London if he wanted to.
Oh, why doesn't he then?
He wants to stay here, set up on his own. I'd go in with him, that's the idea.
He could pass the Kirby grips.
Don't use things like that nowadays. Alexander only believes in blow-drying anyway.
Oh, you get the heads to wash then.
You're not going to sleep, are you?
No. Ever heard of a McKinley falling asleep at her post?
I know you. You drop off at the flick of a lamb's tail.
Nice thought. Springtime in the glen. Lamb's tail flicking. Gran leaning on her gate.
Maggie, don't go to sleep on me. I've got heaps to tell you about Alexander. He's dying to meet you too, really he is. He thinks you sound really intriguing. Maggie? Are you awake? Maggie?
It is beautiful here.
You like our city then, do you?
It's not bad.
Oh, it's not a patch on Glasgow, of course.
You must come and see me someday.
I'd like to.
The only thing is, it'll be kind of difficult. I mean, our place isn't like yours.
I don't have to stay the night.
You could sleep in the city, but Mum would get fussed in the wind.
Don't worry about that, Maggie. I'll be a day trip. Let's sit down.
It's soaking wet.
No problem, madam. James Fraser at your thumb. So you really are enjoying it?
Very much. I wanted to go on and on. Then we want this summer to go on in the Glen.
Will you go to the Glen this year?
Hope so. But part of it anyway. I'll need to earn some money though.
We're going for the whole summer.
Yeah, lucky you.
I feel kind of lucky.
Well, me too. Anyway, we got that date with Katrina and Alexander.
Alexander?
You could do quite a lot with your hair, you know, Maggie. It just needs thin and shade.
Alexander could do marvellous with it.
I'll go for the natural look, the way it grows in my head.
But it would improve the shape of your head.
You should let him have a go, Maggie. What about our place tomorrow afternoon?
Okay.
Mum and Dad are going to this talk, penal reform in the 80s. And they promised to look in on Aunt Effie afterwards.
Thanks all the same, but I don't think I'll risk
Chicken.
You're dead right. None so chicken-hearted as McKinley when it comes to radical changes.
Like your father from the sound of it.
On the other hand, I have been known to leap in where angels fear to tread.
Just a massive contradiction.
Whereas you, James Fraser, you're straight down the line. All on the level. You know where you're going and you'll stick to it.
You make me sound really exciting.
I find you exciting.
Do you?
Why don't you try a different colour, Maggie? You could dye it red. It's a gorgeous new shade just out.
How would you like me to go red, James?
I like you just the way you are.
Don't go changing.
To try to please.
Could you two stop gawping at each other for 2 seconds?
Doubt it.
Honestly.
Well, you can go for Alexander. Can't you, Alexander?
We were wondering if you'd like to come to a disco with us tonight.
You know I don't like disco.
But Maggie might. You can't expect her to spend the whole weekend listening to Mother give lectures on the life of the sea slug.
I've got other plans for her.
That involves climbing hills, no doubt. He's merciless.
I thought we might go up to Carlton Hill.
Colton Hill. There's a super new disco.
Oh, super.
How about another cup of coffee?
Okay. What were you, Maggie?
No thanks.
James?
I don't think so.
Sure you don't want another jam donut, Maggie?
No thanks, I already had 3.
I know. You could at least pay a bit more attention to Alexander.
It's you that's crazy about him, and crazy's the word for it if you ask me.
James Fraser, how dare you?
Not in a public place, please.
You make me sick. What you see in him, Maggie, I don't know.
What do you see? Anything?
You're not bad looking. Kind of like the way you smile.
Maggie won't be a teenage bride. Maggie is born to fight. She inclines to the varsity. It's such a funny time, and ignores the hilarity. The pun should fit the Maggie. She likes to have some fun. Maggie won't fool around. Adolescence is teasing yet. It's humorous of you. The sensation is pleasing yet. She only humors you. Maggie will only humor you. Maggie will only humor you. Maggie. Maggie.
You didn't like him, did you?
Yes, I did. Well, we met for about 20 minutes.
And all that time you sat eating donuts and staring at James.
Oh, I know, I'm renowned for my gluttony.
Oh, Maggie, can you never be serious?
Right, Katrina, I'll be serious now, I promise.
You can stay awake long enough.
It's this Edinburgh east wind that's doing it. But yes, Alexander.
He's very good looking, don't you think?
Oh, yes, very.
You don't sound very convincing.
Well, Katrina, does it matter if I think he's good looking or not? Shouldn't I has to fancy him?
I love him. We want to get married.
I see.
But Mother...
Ain't gonna like it.
I brought him home once and she was horrible to him. She's such a snob.
I've never found that she's...
Oh, she's okay to you because you're brainy and you're going to go to university.
But she talks to everybody, you must admit that.
Well, she didn't talk to Alexander, not after the first 5 minutes. I may just have to leave home. Maggie. Maggie, you're not going to go to sleep again, are you? Honestly.
Have to be off soon.
The weekend just seems to have flown.
There'll be others.
Weekends always do, unfortunately.
I know. I never get half the things done I meant to.
You do pretty well, though, Mother.
You forgot to fix the upstairs loo, Peter.
Conveniently.
Don't mumble, Katrina. It's a pity your father isn't here, Maggie.
You will speak to your father, Maggie, about setting up in business. Much better than working for someone else.
I agree. Far more incentive.
The main thing is the matter of finding premises.
But how much would that cost?
No, not too much. All you'd need is a place to use as an address and keep supplies, eh?
Precisely.
There must be plenty of empty shops in Glasgow. Every time I go there, I think how run down the place looks.
I don't know about
It doesn't
that.
have to be Sauchiehall Street or Buchanan Street, obviously.
The only two streets she knows in Glasgow.
Now, that's not true, Peter. I used to have a cousin who lived just off the Great Western Road.
Well, anyway, Maggie, you have a talk with your father and your uncle. And it goes without saying, if they need any advice, I'll be only too happy.
Well, that's very kind of you, Mr. Fraser.
Why don't you put an ad in the evening paper, Maggie? Are you not eating, Katrina? No waste of good food. I usually find I get what I want by a well-worded ad, Maggie.
Yes, but you're usually looking for second-hand sleeping bags.
Makes no difference. Why don't we help Maggie write out the ad now? Get a piece of paper, James.
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. That's what I always say. Maggie, more carrots.
Oh, no thanks. I've done very well.
Father, they're from the allotment.
Free range.
Oh, they were lovely.
Shall I be scribe?
Right. Now then, let's think. Shop wanted, any condition.
They might be over the slum.
Doesn't matter. Better to have a wide range to choose from. It's easy to say no.
Your mother's probably right.
She's always right.
What did you say, Katrina?
Nothing. I'm famous for saying nothing.
I can come through to Glasgow and help you sift through all the offers, Maggie.
Don't forget, you're supposed to be working for your A-levels.
I'm going through to Glasgow next Saturday.
Oh, you are you?
You better hurry up and finish the ad, Elizabeth. Maggie'll have to catch a train soon.
Anything else then, Mother?
Moderate rent. Any area considered.
I hate saying goodbye.
Let's not then. Anyway, I'll be seeing you on Saturday. It's only 6 days.
Is that your mother lent you the can?
I'll talk her into it. You got the ad?
Yeah. Goodness knows what Father's going to say about that. Anyway, I better go. I'm going home in more style than I came.
Hope you didn't mind, Mother.
No, it's all right. I realised my bags were just a bit too much for her.
Till Saturday then, Maggie.
It's been great, James. Really great.
Maggie, she knows the kings are friends. Maggie declines to dance, she won't work in a factory, though parents think she should. She's inclined academically, and so forth it's so. Maggie won't be a teenage bride. Maggie against the tide, she accepts the adversity. She always knew she could to attend university, and so forth it's so. Maggie, so far, so good. Maggie, so far, so good.